What if the most disturbing part of a murder case isn't what happened, but why it happened? One night, one family, and a chain of decisions that would change everything forever. On December 14th, 78-year-old Rob Reiner and 70-year-old Michelle Reiner were found brutally killed inside their own home. Their son, Nick Reiner, was arrested just hours later. No chase, no resistance, just questions. 2 counts of first-degree murder, special circumstances, the death penalty on the table. But this case goes far deeper. 17 rehab attempts, a schizophrenia diagnosis, and a legal battle centered on one critical issue: Nick's state of mind. Before we break it all down, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss updates as this case unfolds. In this video, we examine the evidence, the insanity defense, and what could happen next. The night that changed everything. Let's go back to December 13th, a night that would quietly set everything in motion. Rob and Michelle Reiner attended Conan O'Brien's holiday party with their son, Nick. To most people, it looked like a normal evening, but several guests later said something felt off. Nick appeared distant, withdrawn, dressed scruffily, almost as if he wasn't fully there. During the party, an argument broke out between Nick and his father. No one knows what was said, but those words would later take on disturbing importance. Just hours later, in the early morning of December 14th, prosecutors say Nick walked into his parents' bedroom carrying a knife. What followed was violent and sudden. Multiple stab wounds, multiple sharp force injuries. Rob, 78, and Michelle, 70, were both killed. Their bodies were discovered around 3:40 p.m. after a massage therapist couldn't reach them and contacted their daughter, Romy, who found the scene. Nick didn't disappear. He checked into a hotel in Santa Monica, was caught on camera buying a drink at a gas station, acting strangely, and was arrested a few hours later in Exposition Park without resistance. What's unsettling is how normal his actions seemed. Paying at a store, using a credit card, moving almost on autopilot. And that leaves one haunting question. Did Nick understand what he was doing? Or was something else controlling his mind? The charges and the death penalty question. Nick now faces 2 counts of first-degree murder, along with special circumstance allegations for multiple victims. That single detail changes everything. Special circumstances open the door to the death penalty, or at the very least, life in prison without parole. Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman hasn't yet decided whether to seek capital punishment, but for now, that threat looms over the case. Legally, this is where the stakes skyrocket. Nick is represented by Alan Jackson, a high-profile defense attorney known for handling major cases. Jackson is still deep in discovery, carefully reviewing every detail. The core decision ahead is risky either way: plead not guilty or argue not guilty by reason of insanity. There's no easy option here. The mental health elephant in the room. This is where the case takes a sharp turn. Nick Reiner didn't just snap overnight. His history shows years of serious mental health struggles, 17 rehab stays before age 25, periods of homelessness, and ongoing addiction. His substance abuse was so severe that even with money, influence, and Hollywood connections, his parents couldn't fix it. Then there's the schizophrenia diagnosis, and that changes everything. Reports say Nick was prescribed medication for schizophrenia before the killings, though the exact timing isn't clear. That matters because experts note some antipsychotic medications can cause side effects like akathisia, an intense restlessness and impulsivity that may increase aggression. Did his medication change around the time of the murders? There's no confirmation yet, but that detail could decide the case. If the defense shows Nick was in a severe psychiatric break and didn't understand his actions, or that they were wrong, that's the path to an insanity defense. How the insanity defense actually works. Most people think an insanity defense means someone completely detached from reality. That's a Hollywood myth. In California, the standard is far stricter. The state follows the McNaughton rule, and it's extremely hard to meet. Under this rule, the defense must prove that at the exact moment of the crime, the defendant either didn't understand the nature of their actions, meaning they didn't realize they were harming another human being, or didn't understand that what they were doing was wrong, legally or morally. Here's the key point. The burden of proof is entirely on the defense. Mental illness alone isn't enough. Juries are often skeptical, viewing insanity claims as excuses for the unthinkable, which raises the bar even higher. Former LA prosecutor Dimitri Gorin has noted that California has one of the toughest insanity standards in the country. Even with a documented history of schizophrenia, a defendant can still lose if prosecutors convince jurors they knew right from wrong in that moment. The prosecution's counter-argument. From the prosecution's perspective, the argument is simple and hard to ignore. They'll ask, if Nick Reiner didn't know what he was doing was wrong, how did he stab his parents multiple times, then calmly leave the house, drive, check into a hotel, buy items at a store, and avoid arrest for hours? The argument at the Christmas party also plays against the defense. Prosecutors will say this wasn't someone detached from reality. Nick spoke with his father, chose to argue, and showed judgment. Their stance is that he didn't suddenly lose the ability to know right from wrong the next morning. He chose to do something wrong. There's another legal reality the jury will hear. Intoxication or substance abuse doesn't excuse murder. If it did, no one would ever be convicted for crimes committed while high or drunk. That's not how California law works, and the courts know it. The real question. This is the moment the case becomes impossible to ignore. It forces an uncomfortable question. Is Nick Reiner a monster, or a severely ill person who slipped through a system that failed him again and again? His family doesn't see him as a monster. People close to them describe Nick as genuinely ill, unstable for years, and in need of stronger intervention. The same parents who tried repeatedly to help him are now the victims, and their son is the one accused. That's the tragedy few talk about. There are no clear villains, only loss. As the case unfolds, defense attorney Alan Jackson faces a brutal challenge against strict laws and aggressive prosecutors. Whatever the outcome, this case will take time. And it raises a larger question about what happens when mental illness collides with the limits of justice.